Hello everyone, welcome to Java with John. I'm John Rayhans, the General Manager here at Iron Oaks, and thanks for joining me today. I have a very special guest, Ross Buckendahl, our golf course superintendent. Ross, thanks for being here.
Thank you, John. Appreciate it. It's been a while.
It has been a while. And we wanted to have this conversation with Ross to tell the homeowners what we've got going on. And we took I'll say the unfortunate situation to bring us out here to tell you about what we have in the future to fix this. And what I'm referring to is in 2024, next summer, we plan to be replacing the main line right here on the Lakes Golf Course. Is that right?
That is correct. Yes, that is the goal for now, and replacing instances like this. So it's as you can see behind us, it becomes a mess, and it's been very steady this last week or so. We've had 3 of these in the last 7 to 8 days, so it's getting to the time where we need to replace it.
Yeah, absolutely. And just so you know where we are on the Lakes Golf Course, just near the number 8 green, and we're on the hillside right adjacent to some of our homeowners. And as you can see up and down this rough area, Ross, you've had multiple mainline breaks here, which causes damage not only to the golf course, but perhaps to some of our homeowners' property as well.
That is correct, and the main line sits really close to the property lines. Therefore, it does spill over into homeowners' yards, and obviously damages numerous areas of turf all along here. You can see there's sod areas as you go back and forth of all these areas.
Now, also, as I understand, this is the last one to be redone because on the Sonoran and the Palms, you've already replaced that. Is that right?
That is correct. The main lines and lateral lines on the Sonoran, Palms, and Ironwood have been replaced. It's just the Lakes Golf Course that needs those replaced.
Okay, now I know we've already engaged Forrest Richardson, our golf course superintendent, to come out and help us with this project. I know a couple of years ago we started off to redo the irrigation, but we backed off because Department of Water Resources, and of course the big story in Arizona, the reduction in water availability, and being a good steward of water conservation, we took a pause to make sure we're doing it right, and that's why we need to do some work over here. Is that right?
That is correct, yeah, and it was smart to take that pause. That was definitely the right move, instead of putting in irrigation and 2-3 years later having to remove it because of turf reduction. So we kind of bear with it for now, but yeah, the turf reduction and the water reduction is coming, and we're doing our due diligence to make sure that we get it right.
That's great. And a couple things. I want to thank you and your team because you have been patching these for years here, and I think we talked about at the Advisory Golf Committee, you patched this area on the Lakes Golf Course half dozen to a dozen times a year. Is that right?
That is correct, yeah.
And that costs our homeowner money, and of course time for you and your team as well.
Yes, that is correct.
So this is all good news, even though we have to go the long ways to get it fixed. But one of the areas where we're standing is probably an area where we were going to have some turf reduction when we go through this plan. Is that right?
That is correct, yes. This is what we would call an out of play area for golf. There's never have been a golf ball in this area, so this is a prime example of areas we'll be looking at to remove turf.
That's great. And I know you had the USGA out here a couple months ago. They were tracking our golf members, where they hit balls and what their traffic patterns were, and they've identified very clearly where they don't play in areas that we're kind of calling out of bounds, that really don't get any traffic whatsoever, and prime candidates, especially areas like this, to rid the area of turf and mitigate it with some sort of desert terrain, which would be good for water conservation and as far as the view for our homeowners as well.
Yes, correct. That's the number one goal, is the water conservation, and doing what we can as good stewards of the land to reduce our turf area and our water usage, going forward, not only in the next 5 years, but the next 50 years.
And we don't want to panic our homeowners that live on the golf course. There's going to be great communications from our communications team. I know Forrest Richardson is, when he finalizes the plan, we'll have a session open to all homeowners, talk about where that turf removal is likely going to happen and how we will mitigate that and how we will rejuvenate these areas so they look nice within our community.
Correct.
So lots of good things happening over here. Ross, I'm sorry you have to deal with all this mess. It's a lot of time and effort on your part, so I appreciate your help here. But again, it sounds like about a year from now, if all goes well, we'll be making this transition. We'll be replacing the existing main line, making some modifications to improve our irrigation, to be more efficient with our water, and make this golf course and this area for our homeowners even better.
Yes, agree.
Super. Well, thanks for joining me
Yes,
today, my
thank you.
friend.
Appreciate it.
Take care. We'll see you next time on Java with John.